Alright, hi everybody. Welcome back. What we're going to do today is finish off getting our body installed. Okay, so the way this works is we're going to put some hot glue onto our magnets. We're going to place in our piece. My head will my beard will get in the way. And we're going to press down and we're going to hold that and make sure that we're aligned exactly where we want to be. We're going to hold that and till the glue dries, and then we're going to slide this off and fill in anything, make sure that that's nice and good. Then we'll place it back on, make sure everything's good, lined up exactly the way we want it, and then we'll repeat on the back for the magnets to get on the back. Okay, so our hot glue gun is ready to go. So we're going to do this. Considering we kind of have one shot at this, we don't really. We could always pick it off and continue, but this is what we're going to do. So then we'll go through and clean it up. So we're going to lay on our hot glue, get a good bead down onto our magnets. Excellent. And we get our body into place right where we want it. Make sure we're nice and even, squared up. Looks good there. Looks like where I want to be. Alright, we're just going to hold it. And this is not the fun part, we're just going to hold it. We're going to hold it for a couple of minutes till it really cools down. You do not want to take this off early, right? Because we want to make sure that that glue is nice and dried. And we're just going to hold it. Sing a song, listen to some music. Usually if you listen to half or more of a song, you should be good to go. You can feel a little bit of heat coming through, so you can also wait till that heat dissipates. But we definitely want to make sure that this glue is cured and everything, right? Very happy. It's going to sit real nice. Love the placement of it. It's going to look even crazier when we eventually get to stretch out the front, which should be a lot of fun. It's going to be real crazy. As we go and move on, there's a few different upgrades that we've already ordered in this whole thing. I don't need to push it down now, we can just let that sit. We're going to do portal axles on this, so those are ordered. Hopefully everything comes out right. The pictures show axles, but they don't necessarily show it portal, but the description says portal. So hopefully we get the right thing, otherwise we'll have to send those back and get the other ones that I do know are portal. But again, we're trying to save costs, trying to save money, so we bought the slightly cheaper ones. Also, with timelines and everything else, we'll get these a little bit quicker, guaranteed, which is nice. The other thing we've done is we've gone ahead and placed the order for some replacement wheels. Do love the look of these, and mind you, we're going to run these and have some fun with these. But they are going to look really great with being on the deadbolt too, being green like that. So the new wheels are a 4-piece bead lock. The new tires are insane. I'm not going to give too much away on which ones I bought or anything else. They are a popular company, that's all I'll say as far as that goes. Alright, so now we should be able to just pop this off. Okay, so one of these did not set. So what we do is we're going to come through now. Just going to use the tip of this to reheat this glue. Maybe we'll place a little bit more on. And we will let it snap on into place. Check our alignment. So again, if it doesn't sit down, it's not a big deal. We just go back and reapply, right, as you see. So I'm kind of happy in some ways that this happened, because we get to see how we fix that, right? I see why it's caused some problems here, because it's not quite aligned. You see, we're not perfect in there, so I'm going to go ahead and peel these off just like that. So doing the videos, it's really tough to see if things are aligned or not without getting my head in the way. A nice little dollop on top of that. Alright. And we'll get it back in. Get it better aligned on the body here. Alright, so that should be better. So as you can see, hey, you mess up, not a big deal. We'll just redo it, right? I'm going to make sure I hold this. So now I'm happier. The body's more centered in the front. It's again centered in the back, which is great. But because we got this little scoop in the front here, it can cause some problems because we got spacing. So when this is all done and the magnets come off, we're going to make sure to fill this cavity with glue so that it's got good adhesion all the way across. So that's super important to make sure we've got plenty of adhesion. Okay, yep, the body's nice and squared in through here, which is nice. Make sure we're getting all this in camera here. There we go. Turn it. Alright. So that's down. We're good and squished. I can feel it. Still sitting good. I'm just double checking every time here, making sure everything's lined up and the body is squared to where I want it. Right, really important. You got some time, so make sure we do that. And we're going to do another upgrade or change here, as it were. But because we can change where this servo sits, and I have room to move it back more, I saw that there's no reason why we can't turn this ball around and do a front mount on this, which means then we're not hitting the horn and catching up on this little spiky bit. We can turn the whole thing around, move the horn in, and basically have this plastic sticking out instead, and it will stick out less, which I think is a great idea. I saw this just last night on a video on YouTube and went, wow, that's a great idea. And since I have the adjustability due to the ramp crab mount for it, it's just, why not, right? See if it works, see how it does. It may be horrible, terrible, and we may revert back to here, but you got to try things, right? That's the important part. Alright, so this should be, I feel a little heat. We're going to let it sit for just a little bit longer, and I'll talk your ears off. So yeah, very happy with this. It's non-conventional, which is part of why I like it. It's not a truck. Everybody seems to be doing trucks or, a body like this. Um, Nothing wrong with a truck. It's just I like to be a little different. I like to be unique. I like to have something that looks unique. That's what I want. All right. So if I twist and pull, excellent. So now you can see those magnets are much more square in there. So we're going to take our glue gun and I'm going to fill that cavity, come around our magnets, and try to make it one cohesive piece. I think I got a little bit on top of shit. You want to be careful. I touched that and it moved the magnet, which is not what we wanted. It just kind of turned it. We'll go ahead and put that back down and give it a little time to settle in. We're definitely going to let this cool. I can feel a lot of heat now within there. So I didn't want to press down on that magnet and have it wonky. If I just put it right back down here, it flattens it out. With the other one, keeps everything nice and clean and straight. But again, now we've got quite a bit in there, a lot of heat. I can feel the heat in here. Matter of fact, there's so much heat in here just pressing down on that. I don't know if you can catch that on camera. It indented just a little bit, just deformed it. I don't mind it. Again, we're not shooting for perfection here. We're shooting for having a body on there. That's what we wanted. Just having a body on there. So this is a very thin body. Even with the paint, which helped thicken it up a lot. I made sure to put some good coats of paint on there to really try to thicken this body up. One of the things I was thinking of doing was cutting out the windows and putting in some screen to make it look like either netting or just metal kind of a thing. But what I didn't want to do was weaken the whole shell as it tumbles, so we decided not to do that and just leave it where it was. Let's see here, I should be able to undo that. Okay, so we got a little bit on our strap there, not a big deal. Clean this up a bit. Yeah, so it flattened it right out, made it all nice and even. And now that it's out, just scraping a little bit to clean up those magnets. Get the surface. These are good strong magnets, so if it's got a little bit there, just peel it right off there. But that should hold our magnets in. That's what we're hoping for. So now we can move on to the back, and these will lock right in, which is great, and keep these right where we need them. So we'll go ahead and do the same. Actually, no, we'll do that after. So you see that there's cut circles in these magnets. So that's so that we can put a little drop down in that center and it locks it in, right? It locks it into the glue that we put down. So we'll put a drop over here. It'll drop over here. Lock our front in. we check our back. Make sure that we're square where we want to. Yeah, we're square. And that's going to be it for the body. Is now attached by the magnets. You can see how it's going to look. Very happy with it. I think it's a good looking little vehicle, right? Okay, still some heat. We'll let that dry. And that's about it. Body's on, mounted. We can take it on and off. And work on the insides if we need to, as we need to. You know, pop it right off without having to worry about losing pins. It's a big thing for me. You know, body pins, they're alright, but you know, I've lost a few in my day, especially before they started putting on all these little get that in the frame there, these little tabs. These help so much, and I'm really happy that Axial thought of putting those on to help you take these little pins on and off. So kudos to them. You know, I'm ever so impressed with all the different things that Axial has done, especially in these little 24s. I've never had a SCX10. I have looked at it online. It's not an exact, you know, one-for-one kind of a thing with these XCX24s. The XCX24s, you know, I don't know what it is about these little things, but you know, you do minor upgrades and it can outperform other vehicles in their class, and even in the 18th scale, with just minor you know, upgrades in it, where the other ones have got a lot of upgrades in it, and these still outperform them. You put the same amount of upgrades and these well outperform. So I'm really excited to have something in the future here that's going to be something I can go and maybe try some competitions, which I think will be a lot of fun. I don't know whether this body style is going to be allowed in a competition, maybe in a class 3 or something, but we'll see. Alright, so if we've done everything right, this should just pop right off, which it did. You see we had to slide, so we had a little glue there. But that's alright, because we're going to come in and glue around. And I like to spread it out. So the more area that you have attached, the better attachment it's going to have. So you see me spreading it just like that. See, I've got lots of coverage around. This is so that it's not just that little area below it that's holding it on. You do, so you can see how thin this is. It's maybe you can catch this in the glints. It's warped that just a little bit where that was, and hey, that's the nature of this with these thin bodies, right? In this, you can see here, it's a much thinner body than you get even with, say, this, right? It's a little stouter. You can feel it in it. This is really squishy, especially on this side. It's really thin. But the difference is, you know, this is a $35 body. This I got off of eBay. It was $5, right? So I mainly bought it because of the style. I would have paid, more for something more robust, but hey, I'm happy with this little thing and the way it is. So before we go, I wanted to show, clean some of this off here. Somebody must be at the door. The dog's barking. So I put a limiting strap on, and all that is a hairband. So I've looped it through itself, right? And underneath, because we have this Ramp Crab servo mount, it allows me to get underneath it. So just wrapped it underneath, went through itself and down through this, and that, as you can see, limits how far down it'll drop. But it still gives us all of our articulation, right? Limits it down. So and I'm pulling here. This is just the natural weight of it. Oh. Sorry about that. Sometimes phones ring and things happen, right? So I'm just going to melt this glue in. Alright, so as I was saying, this limiting strap, that's as far as it lets it droop with the current weight. I don't anticipate putting any more weight on there. This is already a 13-gram diff cover. And so yeah, it gives it all of the articulation, which is great, wonderful, and yeah, it doesn't unload when I go up. Definitely is a performer having that. So do it if you're having problems, especially if you're running the longer shocks. It's a definite plus. So alright, so everything's cooled. We've actually had a little bit of that deformation kind of go back. There is a little loss of paint where I scraped, but hey, it doesn't matter. This whole body's going to get scratched and scraped up. The beauty is, boom, on it goes. Just make sure we're secure in. Everything's looking good. Things aligned. And we're golden. That's it. Got our body done. So, wonderful. Let's go out and run this thing as is, and you can see how good the body looks performing out on the rocks. All right. Very happy with it. Got the stickers and stuff like that. We might be replacing these LGRPs up here. I might just leave them because I like to to promote Little Guy Racing Parts. I got some awesome stuff. But once we get the portals and the wheels on this, the last thing that we have to replace to have our full rig is this motor and transmission, right? So we are going to replace that, put something else in. We're going to see. We're going to run it as is, have a lot of fun, change out to the portals, see what that does, change out to the wheels. We're going to put bigger wheels on this and see how that changes things. So again, one change at a time, one change, see how the performance changes, and then we'll go through and figure out what we're going to do with the motor. There's lots of possibilities, but we'll talk about that when the time comes.